welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 42. I feel like we should have prepared a joke or something for that.
Probably. I'd like to avoid it. It seems too easy.
Yeah, it does seem... Well, we did do an episode entirely dedicated to Rule 34. So, easy jokes.
Yeah.
It's not something we've avoided
That
in the past.
episode and the one after it were full of them, so...
Yeah, kind of. Oh well. As always, I'm your host, KCW, and with me we have Slicinus.
Hey guys.
Wow, that was delayed. Okay, and Kenshi.
Hi, I'm Kenshi618, and when any of my Pokemon use Splash, your Pokemon instantly faint.
Due to the sheer magnificence of it?
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, or it's just one hell of a splash. Just sort of, I guess. We're all a little bit low energy today, this episode, right now.
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
My Magikarp's better than your Magikarp.
Gonna be a little bit of a mellow episode. Did you ever see the fucking... you know how they release special Pokemon every now and again? That you can just, download from places. Did you ever see the time that they released a level 99 shiny Magikarp?
No. What did you do? What could you... Well, I guess...
There's two things you could do with it. You could either level it up and not evolve it, and you have a level 100 gold Magikarp that is completely useless.
They could use Tackle.
Yeah. Or you could level it up, evolve it, and then you have a red Gyarados.
With no attacks, I think.
You could teach it TMs, but you'd have a red Gyarados, and what's special about red Gyarados? It just looks like it caught it in Lake of Rage.
Yeah. I think I'd prefer the gold.
Yeah, the Magikarp.
Yeah,
that would be,
me too.
That's still one hell of a tackle.
No, it isn't. It doesn't get that. It'd still have really terrible stats. So it'd be...
Well, it would look fabulous. Blah. Tried to say 4 different words at the same time.
It'd look fabulous.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Sounds like it'd look pretty special, I guess.
Why did you... Wait. Why did you bring this up?
He was talking about Magikarps and Splash and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that related to us being low energy. I was confused.
No, that's just... I'm trying to be entertaining, even though I'm completely out of it today. Thought that was a fun little anecdote. Okay, we'll move on. So, first topic on the list is, as always, what we're doing. We'll start with Slicer. Go for it.
I read a number of manga. None of them actually stuck because they were But I read the No Game No Life manga, and oh boy, it's that art. I think the art style is interesting. It's not very good. It's like Attack on Titan level bad in places. I really should have a screenshot, but in one of them, his hand is like this claw thing. It's really disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, I found a number of other manga, but I'm still waiting to get to the Final Fantasy XII one because I don't know, it looks cool actually, the art style on it.
There's a Final Fantasy manga?
Yeah, I was really surprised as well. I want to see if Vaughn is a whiny little bitch in the manga, so I might not hate him as much if he isn't.
He probably won't even be the main character in it.
But...
Is it like a game adaptation, or...?
I don't know. I just had the first page open, and it's just a picture of Ash, the princess. Yeah. Aside from that,
experience with adaptations of games. Sorry to interrupt, but
they're usually not that great.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we always talk about the fucking films that get made of games, and they're always pretty bad. Well, usually pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're okay. And okay is pretty much as good as you're ever going to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's fucking books sometimes, and One of my favorite game series was Baldur's Gate, and that got a really terrible book adaptation, where a lot of fan favorite characters died for no conceivable reason.
To raise the stakes and make the book seem important.
Sure, but here's the thing. Baldur's Gate happens in the Forgotten Realms universe, and the thing about the Forgotten Realms universe is anything that is written in a book is canon.
Seriously?
Yep.
That seems like a very poor blanket policy.
No, as long as it's in a published work that has the Forgotten Realms license on it, it is canon. So, it is canon that those characters died. Yeah. Thanks, writer of that book. That was nice of you to do that for the fans.
All I can think about is the Persona manga, which the Persona 3 one specifically, it just sped through everything. If you didn't play the games, you'd be completely lost.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, that was what was it? One chapter every quarter. That's
something like that. It was really slow.
Yeah, it's a long time to wait for it, and considering that's got a year's worth of material to do, in theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand them glossing over a lot of the details.
It seemed like it was just the battles and stuff, though, so I mean, it's not really... That would take a lot of time, and it wouldn't really serve any purpose, aside from looking cool.
Sorry, you were saying about stuff in Final Fantasy XII and things.
Right. Well, I was getting caught up on the Team 4-star stuff, and I saw the 2 Saiyans play of Killing Floor, and it was something you need to see. It was very good. And so I got Killing Floor, and I was playing that all last night. I'm still not even level 3 for the class I'm using. It takes a long time to level up in that game.
Okay, I could do the link for that, for the link dump.
I watched that, and that made me never want to get that game.
It's actually not that hard. I mean, it can be if you set the difficulty higher. I can solo a long medium campaign. Long being the length of the waves and difficulty being medium.
Anything else, Slicer?
Oh, right. I found out how to change the values in Dead Island Riptide. So I'm doing the dev's job for them. It's actually an enjoyable game when you take off the ammo cap and turn up the movement speed by like 15 times. Yeah. A little broken, but I mean, it's fun running around with an AK-47.
A little bit. Well, you can't really say anything about throwing in God mode onto games because you just can't do that anymore for the most part, and it's kind of disappointing that you can't. I mean, that was fun.
I wish I could have God mode in that game. I can't figure out how to change the health. I did in every one of the value things. It's just it doesn't take effect because I was too high of a level at the time. Or something. I don't know. It's confusing. Also, I had a hell of a time figuring out the movement. I actually made it so I couldn't move one time. I set the values so wrong that I could not physically move. I could hop back and forth. It was really stupid. Yeah. Compared to that, just changing the ammo it took like 15 seconds. It's irritating. But yeah, I've been running through that game again, and it's a very short game when you can do that.
Will it run 15 times faster? Yeah, I imagine so.
Yes. Oh, also, I had to figure out the exact number at which your character would go from sprinting to the game thinking you were falling. Think a slug. You know how they leave the slimy trail behind them? Imagine that being bits of your legs. That's what happened to me. I sprinted, and when I hit max speed, my health just plummeted.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Sounds
was.
awesome.
Wait, so are you telling me if you were to just like run at full speed straight into a wall, it treats you like you fell into the wall?
No, it's you don't even need to run anything. You'd be running on a flat surface. It's just because you're moving so fast, it doesn't detect you moving sideways anymore.
So that you
It
not
thinks
only
you're
Yeah, so
moving
it
like
treats you like
diagonal sideways.
so you could Wile E. Coyote yourself against a wall or something.
Yes,
That'd be cool.
yes, you could.
That'd be
I
brilliant.
think you're missing the most important thing. Not only has Slicer managed to find a way to give himself superpowers in the game, but the game's actually smart enough to realize give real world physics to super speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You go too
unless
fast,
it
it
slows
will
down
kill
your
you.
perception, that's what would actually happen.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
that was my week. Actually, I think that's everything. It was
Mm.
very
Oh.
amusing.
Speaking of super speed, anyone see the Flash pilot? He got leaked.
I
Oh,
haven't seen it.
yeah, no.
Oh. Yeah, it's okay.
It's not Arrow good.
It's not Arrow good. It's also not Constantine good, because that one leaked as well. That one was quite good.
I don't know these leaks and stuff.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm sort of wanting to use air quotes over the word leaked, but yeah. I mean, one happened like 3 weeks after the other, so it feels a little bit deliberate, but you know.
Oh no, we didn't want that to be out yet. Wink.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, Constantine looks pretty good. Looking forward to more of it. Flash, Arrow wasn't that amazing at like first 2 episodes, so I'll give it some time.
And that Constantine actually looks really good. If it wasn't a series, I would totally watch it.
Mm.
So I'll never be able to keep up.
It depends on what day it is. If I'll ever be able to keep up. I mean, I know I can
Yeah.
watch stuff on Hulu, but I don't.
Mm.
Do you have like DVR or?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, I can see how that's an issue then.
Yeah. See, I'm slow to get on this newfangled technologies. I got a flat
Yeah.
screen like last fall.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only reason I got that flat screen is because I had a PlayStation 4. It wouldn't plug into my fucking regular TV.
Mm. Yeah. Well.
You just needed
You-
HD cords, or not HD, standard SD.
Huh.
I had that problem
Okay.
trying to plug the Turtle Beaches into the Xbox. It doesn't work with the Slims.
Huh. Yeah. You guys are kind of lucky to be able to miss out on good TV. We tend to have to wait for like a year for it to show up here, so
You want to know why?
Mm.
bullshit legal issues.
Because the good
'Cause
TV's made in America.
Freedom? I'm
Some of
confused.
America.
them. It's good TV in this country sometimes.
There have been, yeah, there is, yeah.
I mean, fucking. I'd bring up Doctor Who, but the fact is, you get that simulcast a lot of the time somehow, and that seems markedly unfair. Considering, as I said, we have to wait like a year for your shows to come over here, but our shows you get immediately. Congratulations.
The broadcasting commission's like douches.
Pretty much. Actually, yeah, pretty much since in our country that show is run on tax, more or less. Because
It's
the way
what?
it works in this country, anyone that watches TV, a live broadcast on TV, or through the internet, as long as it's live, they have to pay a yearly fee, which is like 130 quid a year. That's everyone in the country that watches live TV.
Huh. All right.
And that's how the BBC
Wait,
gets
so you guys
funded.
just have one? You guys just have one cable company, or is that extra?
No, we have a few, but it's like an extra fee
So
on
you
top.
have to pay extra for your cable, and you also have to pay just to watch TV in the first place.
I think we changed systems recently, like within the last few years. So there's Freeview, which is like your basic channels. So you get loads of channels that pretty much no one wants to watch, and then
Right.
the
Yeah.
good ones that have good content on them, you have to pay a bit extra for through Sky or Virgin Media or something like that. Yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, TV license funds the BBC, and that means it funds Doctor Who. And yet you guys get it same day.
Yeah, I think it's okay to pirate the hell out of everything at this point for you guys. Well, I don't
TV,
want to
I'm running out of arguments
I would.
not to. I mean, just streaming, sure, go for it. I mean, they're not going to show it in this country for 6 to 12 months if you don't, so go for it, and then maybe buy the DVD when it comes out, or Blu-ray, whatever. Annoys me. But, yeah, so, Ken, what have you been doing this week?
All right. Just a pair of health scares in my household this week. One had to do with the big C, but that turned out to be nothing.
Okay.
So, and the other one, I need to know when to give up.
Okay.
It's a lesson that's learned from the second one. I don't know if you know what a Kimura is, but I was...
Nope.
Huh?
Nope.
Yeah, well, someone put me in this submission hold called a Kimura, which basically puts an extreme amount of pressure on my shoulder and elbow. And I'm very flexible, and I figure if I can work my way out of most things because I hate losing and stuff. So...
Fuck you, I can't break these cuffs? Moment?
Yeah. Fuck you, I can't break these cuffs. And I stayed in it for way too long, and it just decided to torque it just enough that I felt something slip. Fortunately, that was also nothing. I just am still extremely sore. I can still move everything and use everything in my right arm. But, I'm fine. Yeah.
Could you spell that for me? So I can...
Good.
Kimura. Kimura.
Okay.
Yeah. And other than that, I've also expanded my horizons, one you could say. I bought a guitar.
Oh, God.
What do you mean, oh, God?
Sorry, I've been there like 3 times. It's... Okay.
I had to
Yeah, but
try.
he was the type that would actually at least give it an honest attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I've wanted to try it for a long time, and I've had no reason not to try it, so bought a guitar, and I got it. Yes, it came in yesterday, so right now I'm just getting the feel for it.
Learning at the beginning when playing guitar is the very difficult part. The very beginning is the hardest part, and then it gets easier as it goes on. That's pretty much the problem I had with learning guitar, and why I never actually got anywhere with it. Drums, by comparison, are quite easy to get into, and then harder as you get further on. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I learned how to play a trumpet and a piano already, and I stopped playing trumpet because you cannot be lazy and play a trumpet. I can be lazy and play a guitar.
Yeah, it's a pretty lazy instrument.
All I need to do is move my fingers.
That's true.
I can, if I'm actually get to the level where I can actually just start practicing and without actually paying attention to what I'm doing, I just realize, oh, that was wrong. Let's do that again. That's all I really want.
Fair enough.
To be able to casually point out what I suck at.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot at first, just to warn you.
I know.
It's not pretty.
I've seen. I'm aware. I only feel comfortable with the first 2 strings.
First 2 which way?
I'm sure there
Top
are
or
songs out there
top.
that you only use those strings.
And anything below the 5th chord or the 5th fret, I'm very, very, very scared of.
Yeah, kind of.
But hey, at least I'm there. I mean, 5 out of 21 ain't bad.
Yeah, you pretty much found another way to injure yourself. Well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
How so?
Well, aside from the whole bleeding fingers thing you're going to get from first learning, there's also the, string snapping.
Should be careful of that.
Yes,
Ooh,
you
yeah.
should. A friend of mine was learning guitar at one point. We were in college, and the string snapped, flung up, and hit him in the eye.
Wow.
Yeah. He was, he had to wear a patch for like 3 weeks or something.
At least he still has the eye.
I imagine he
He
never
does.
touched the guitar again then?
I don't know. Haven't kept in touch. But, yeah, that was interesting when that, yeah.
Were you there when that happened?
When it happened, no. He just came into college one day and he had the patch, and naturally everyone wanted to see the eye, and it was not it was not a pretty sight. So,
All right, well, way to get me addicted. Now there's a danger element to it. I'm definitely gonna.
Oh, wow. This should have been predicted.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah. Oh well. Anything else, Ken?
Nah, other than that, I've just been writing stuff. I'm writing like 7 things at once. I can't focus on one.
Yay!
Good news is
Sorry.
I'm almost done with 2 things, so something might be updated
Cool.
soon by the end of the weekend.
Good news.
Better than not updating, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Having 7 things that are kind of inching along, but have no sign of being finished.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Steam sale finished.
Sad day.
Yeah, a little bit. So, final
To an extent.
total for the things that I purchased over the Steam sale. Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition with Ultimate Vault Hunter Pack 2. Dead Rising 3 Dynasty Warriors 8 Game Dev Tycoon Plague Inc. Speedrunners 4 times over. Prison Architect Uplink Dragon Age Origins Complete Edition. DuckTales Fable Lost Chapters Sleepy Dogs Complete Edition. Castle Crashers 4 times over. Darksiders 1 and 2 Complete Edition. Magikarp 4 times over. Every Sonic game on PC. Tomb Raider, SteamWorld Dig, Beat Hazard, Long Live the Queen, KOTOR 1 and 2, Mass Effect 1 and 2, Racketeer, Dark Out, and The Impossible Game.
I want to give tips on Racketeer because I beat the crap out of that game, but I can't remember a lot of it, actually.
Yeah, that's a fun game, by the way. Racketeer.
Yeah.
If your tips involve selling things at base price so that you get lots of experience early on, then yeah, I'm there. So, don't worry about it.
No, I think it was farm like crazy. But that seems to be my tip for everything. So, whenever you buy a new game, just imagine I'm telling you that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I played some of that. It's a fun game. A lot of charm to it. The characters are precious. but still entertaining, so it's forgivable.
Oh, now I remember. Just stick with the first swordsman you get for when you go in dungeons. The other ones are complete ass.
Mm. Yeah. Sorry. I haven't got that far yet. I only got the first guy anyway. Thanks for the tip. But yeah, it's the main character is something. She's very into capitalism, apparently.
Yeah.
Capitalism, ho! The catchphrase for the game. I can't tell whether that's great or really depressing, but it's great.
Kidding?
Well,
Fantastic.
She has her hobbies, I guess. And her
Yeah.
lifestyle at this point, effectively.
Mm.
For those lost, this is about a girl who needs to take over her either family or just father's item shop and sell things.
No, she's not taking it over. It's the loan company are saying, we are going to take your house if you don't pay us back. But since we know you're just a girl and you don't have any income whatsoever, we are going to help you start an item shop so that you can start repaying the debt. And if you fail to make any of your repayments, we will just take the house.
Yeah, that sounds... yeah.
That's the plot of the game. So this one fairy girl, because it's an anime universe, so there are fairies. This one fairy girl helps her set up an item shop. And that's the plot of the game. You running this item shop, and then there's this other girl that comes up to be a competitor who is the daughter of the owner of a chain of item shops and stuff, and it's all very classic sitcom comedy.
Sounds like the plot of a half-assed anime.
It kind
Sort of, yeah.
is a little bit, but it's still entertaining. It's
Character-driven, I think, is a good way to put it.
yeah.
You're playing it because of the characters and because the gameplay is fun, not because the story is anything really too terribly interesting.
Yeah, it's done by, I suppose you could call them the Japanese equivalent of an indie dev. So,
Not many of those.
no, there's actually plenty of those. We just never see anything from them because they don't get translated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was the first effort by a localization team, and it was a pretty big success.
Good.
So that kind of put them on the map. So it was, it's a fun game, and I think people should try it. I mean, the sale's over, but it never actually went on any flash sales or anything, so it was only like 50% off. It's like a tenner, I think, full price. So I guess $15 or something.
Steam says $20 for American, but I guess it'd probably be less for you.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the conversion rates are anymore. It's been a while.
And they
Mass
keep
Effect
dropping, yes.
Yeah, Mass Effect on PC. That's
No.
no controller support for that.
What, seriously?
None whatsoever.
What?
Yep, Mass Effect 1 and 2, there is no controller support. 3, I don't know, but 1 and 2 has none.
Is there a way around it, or...?
Not especially, because while the main gameplay, you can sort of kind of get around it, you still have to use the keyboard sometimes because on a controller, the A button would be talk as well as a bunch of other stuff. There's like 3 or 4 different things put on the A button. It being your basic OK and interact button.
Yeah, computers don't seem to like it when you map more than one action to a button.
Yeah, and that's annoying because it just saves time sometimes. It just makes more sense doing it that way, but whatever. And the biggest problem is, you know the special ability screen? It's a wheel on consoles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It is not like that on PC, and it is entirely mouse-driven. So that does not work.
It's
with a controller.
set up like an MMO?
Pretty much. You straight up can't do anything with it with a controller.
Huh.
Yeah, so you would have to play it in the active style. You would have to set up all your abilities and put them on buttons, and then you would play it that way.
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. So I would have to play it mouse and keyboard. So I'm still not sure whether I'm actually going to go through with that and actually do my full insane playthrough through all 3 games that I was planning on doing.
I can't imagine doing that on a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing.
I mean, I've been having issues with Killing Floor because it does not like controllers. You cannot get it to work. But, yeah, that game, wow.
I mean, it is, well, the first one at least is a slower paced game for the most part, so you could do mouse and keyboard and it wouldn't be too much Twitch stuff that you don't want to have to bother with a mouse and keyboard. It just feels more comfortable doing that on the controller nowadays. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
I thought you always been a console gamer, or was that me?
No, I was PC games until I don't know, like pretty much when the 360 came out. I did everything on 360, and that was pretty much it. But a lot of like first-person shooters and that was all PC. Always, like Serious Sam and Deus Ex and Half-Life and all that stuff. Great games, by the way. Good stuff. Love those games. But yeah, that was all on PC. So
some of those older, faster-paced shooters like Quake and Serious Sam, like you said, they kind of needed keyboard and mouse because you're moving so fast, and you really need that fine control of the mouse.
Yeah, like I say, it's the Twitch thing that it feels more comfortable with the controller now because it's smoother movement, so you can gauge timing, such things, so you know when the crosshair is going to hit and such things. But mouse sometimes it works better. Plus, the older games tend to have less input commands, so less buttons are required, so you don't have to like stretch your fingers all over the keyboard.
Right.
Which
yeah,
is something I really hate doing that.
My PC gamer endurance is lacking. I was gonna play Killing Floor all night, but I had to take breaks every once in a while because my forearm was like on fire.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, played the Impossible game. That's not impossible, but difficult. I feel like Michael played it up a little bit in the Rage Quit videos, but
he tried it 16,000 times. Yes, he played it up. I assume he just left it sit for a few hours and built up attempts.
Well, yeah, naturally, but I meant just like in gameplay. Cause
okay.
I didn't have as much trouble as he did with it, but then again, he's talking during the video, so, and deliberately trying to make it entertaining, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it's fun in its masocore kind of style. I enjoy games like that, somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to call blatant bullshit on that. It's fun. No.
If you like Dark Souls, you can't really say anything at this point.
Yeah, but it's different, I guess. It seems different somehow.
Somehow, yeah. Okay. Speaking of Dark Souls, I started another Dark Souls run from scratch.
What are you doing?
First game. Sorry?
What are you doing? What's your focus?
I haven't really decided yet. I picked the, what is it, Deprived? The naked one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I picked that one to start because I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go with it. I'm probably going to end up being a Dex build again.
Well, you could try just centering your character around a weapon. Black Knight Greats, or not, the Black Knight Halberd is a fun one. And you saw the Giant Bomb playthrough of that.
Yeah, that's a strength weapon, isn't it?
I think. It's a halberd, so it's kind of a both.
I don't know. I'll work it out later. I haven't even gone to the first real boss yet, so, you know. By real one, I mean not the Asylum, I mean the Bull Demon on the ramparts.
Ah, right.
So
Taros,
I
I
haven't
mean,
even
yeah.
gone there yet. So I'm just farming souls in the Undead Burg and doing stuff. We're not going to talk more about Dark Souls for another half an hour. So, what else did I do? I think that's pretty much all I did. Played some more SteamWorld. That was fun. I want to get back into writing again.
All right.
Because I miss it. I genuinely do miss it. And I feel like since we've finally got this podcast pretty much on lock at the moment, I should get back into it when I've got some free time. So that's the thing I'm going to be trying to do.
All right. I'll stand by to laugh at you telling me, like, 2 days later you can't think of anything. Feel free to prove me wrong, though. I would like that.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I've done this week, because I'm lame. I like video games. So, on to the recap stuff, because that's something we do, and didn't rip off anyone.
Nope.
Well, it kind of evolved naturally into something that we do on this podcast, because we were only going to do Bleach, but now we do Bleach and Naruto, so...
I didn't actually even know about the manga recap thing until you told me about it, so...
Yeah, I did, and that's... Anyway, Bleach. So,
See...
I've forgotten...
Friendship angst.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Yeah, that was all that happened, effectively, wasn't it? Just Ichigo having a Naruto moment?
I'm convinced that Orihime and Chad aren't going to do anything but be there for the friendship angst.
Yep, and now they're just going to be there. Also, fan art on the first page. Someone agrees with me that Orihime is taking style tips from Tia Harabel.
Yeah.
Yup.
Hold on, I got something as well.
Also, Chad might be starting a restaurant or something. I don't...
Okay, look at this. There is an entire gallery devoted to Orihime's new outfit. It is... Yeah.
Of course there is. Is this something I could link?
Do I have to look at this?
There is no actual porn on this page.
On
It's
this
all...
page?
Yeah, it is a porn website,
Yeah,
but there is no
a porn
porn on
website.
this page. So you
Okay.
could safely link it, I guess.
Until someone puts up something that's porn. So I'm just going to not do that
All right, then.
for now. That seems like the safer bet.
The banner at the top of this page is porn.
Wait, oh,
It's the
yeah, I have
gallery
ad block
at the top.
on, so I can't see any of that.
Likewise. So,
The site is eHentai, for those who want to look it up themselves.
yeah, fair enough. I can't really fault you for doing that. So, yeah. Bleach. Okay, Burn a Finger is... I forget.
Still alive
Right.
somehow.
Yeah. Oh, I pretty much just skipped over the whole Chad Orihime Ichigo thing because it was lame.
Yeah, pretty much.
And wrote, more or less. Because I am a criticky person who uses words like rote and pedestrian and...
Okay, I know what pedestrian means. What does roped mean?
Wrote. It's...
Oh, okay.
By the numbers. It's just, you know...
It seems like more something that
it's
needed
following
to happen.
the script.
Yeah.
It's how things are expected to go. It's everything that we have come to expect.
Now, isn't that depressing?
But Burn a Finger is still pretty much one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Or should I say he's now one of my favorite characters? I think Ken has loved this character, and I've just kind of been on the fence.
Oh,
No, I'm pretty much down with Burn a Finger right now.
Got you, yes. I knew you were going to like him eventually because you kept talking shit about his powers. Being able to make
I'm
fun,
not talking shit about her. I just feel the potential.
being able to make fun of him is the first step to loving something.
Yeah. So, he's totally down with killing Uryu, which, pretty sure this guy's supposed to be a villain, so aren't they supposed to be giving us reasons to not like this guy?
You'd think, but
I'm okay with anyone that wants to kill Bleach characters. That's fine with me.
just all Bleach characters doesn't even need to
Yeah,
be
pretty
anyone
much.
specific.
If they kill people, then that means we're closer to the ending because they won't have any material anymore. They won't have anyone
That's
to
a
hang
good
the shit
point,
off
yes.
of. Yeah, so. And then he gets into an argument with,
Renji.
I think it's Ruki and Renji over his mohawk. And
Renji's eyebrows.
You thought they were cool.
again, Burnerfinger, I've got to give him credit. I usually hate mohawks. They look dumb as shit, and no one can pull them off.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, it works, so I can understand his wanting to defend it. It is a badass mohawk, as he says. Yeah. It works for him as a style. Good for him.
I just love the implication that Renji is so used to people hating his eyebrows, he's utterly gobsmacked that somebody compliments them.
Yeah, I just want the two of them to bro hug it out at this point.
Yeah. It could be leading that way, to be honest. I mean,
Perfectly
they
all
battle
right
for a while. They
if they spent the rest of the chapter just talking about how cool each other's eyebrows and hair were. I would have been completely fine with that for the rest of the chapter.
yeah.
But then fight stuff has to happen.
Yeah.
So fight stuff is gonna happen.
So
Nobody's
apparently
gonna
all five.
die, maybe.
Well, apparently all five burner fingers is a sword.
4. That was 4.
4.
I'm still holding out hope for that burning fist.
It's hot fisting. Get it right.
Whatever. You're the one so obsessed with it.
Come on, that's funny and it's begging to be used.
It is. It really is.
Oh. But yeah, that's pretty much Bleach this week. There's not much else to talk about.
We skipped over one fact, actually. Ichigo and Orihime were having this angsty silence moment. Chad just picked up Ichigo and threw him in a building.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that bit, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just great. It was great.
Ain't having none of that angst shit. We're done with that. Get the show on the fucking road.
Naruto. The series Naruto needs a Chad.
Like I said, Chad is a bro. He doesn't have time for all that feeling shit.
Yeah.
Well, he
Chad
does, but he sorted that out in his first arc, and now everything is just kind of flat a little bit, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, Chad knows who he is, so he's kind of the wise friend thing.
Yeah, I suppose he is. Didn't look at it like that.
Yeah. It's kind of the role he's taken on a little bit. I guess.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, he kind of has to share the role with Urahara, but yeah, it works.
Urahara and wise do not really. That's not two things that go in the same sentence in my
Not really, no, but
mind. Yeah. So moving on to Naruto, or anything else to do with Bleach?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Naruto. So, Naruto and Sasuke are separated again. So we're going to have another 300 chapters of Naruto trying to find Sasuke.
Yeah, great.
Get him back. I wrote that joke down and I was so proud of it. I don't know why.
Because it's poking fun at the stupidity of the series. Also, does anybody else find it creepy that Kaguya's Black Zetsu, he's like
Zetsu
inside of her
speaks
clothes.
for her and apparently her working conscience and stuff now because she doesn't talk anymore.
That's a little bit strange, yeah.
What happened to that? She's just blank now. It's weird. Is she spoken in the last 4 chapters?
Maybe she was just stunned into silence from the whole reverse harem thing.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility.
If she actually says anything, it'd be humming.
Aside from that,
yeah.
all this is pretty basic stuff. It looks, I don't know. Obito is going to go to wherever Sasuke is, hopefully, with the help of Sakura's seal thing, which she already used, so it should be empty.
I just want to point out something. This page right here is can I just say, I think it's trying to go for shaking.
This looked like my page fucked up.
It just looks like scribbles.
Yeah.
That doesn't look good.
I don't know. It's like they drew it and then they repeated it 3 times and move it slightly diagonal upward right. And that's what they did. It doesn't look good.
No. It actually looks pretty terrible. Like he got attacked by the snarl or something from over the stick. It's not good. It's not something I want to look at. But yeah, that bothered me enough to note it down. Then what else happened? Oh. Sakura says something fun. Where's the quote? I don't know if I'm just a burden or of any actual use. Can we get a consensus on that?
I don't know what you mean, so I'll let you do it. I'm trying to be a nicer person.
Yeah, but this is Sakura.
Yeah. Also, like I mentioned before, shouldn't her seal be empty? She already used it. It shouldn't have any chakra left.
Well, the thing is, the theory is, like, it's built up over long periods of time, so you can use as much of it as you need to. You just have to recharge it with more and more.
Yeah. Sakura still really bothers me.
Like, it doesn't max out. You never run out of chakra in it. Or, I mean, there's no max to it, but you can run out of it, so it all depends on how much you have in it at the time.
Yeah, so the implication is she's just going to empty it to do this thing later in the chapter.
Although that does imply that she has currently more chakra at hand than Naruto or Sasuke does. Or, well, just Naruto at this point, since Sasuke is not there. I think.
It does, actually. That's strange.
Yeah. That's weird.
Sakura really still does bother me, you know.
How so specifically?
Well, you know how Naruto was trained by Jiraiya and Sasuke was trained by Orochimaru, and they got ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they have bullshit power-ups that makes no sense, you know, logically, but that happened.
I think the reason they're so powerful like that is more because of their birth rather than their actual training,
circumstance more than anything else. But then we have Sakura, who is trained by Tsunade. She was trained by one of the strongest people in the series' world. And at this point, she has amounted to little more than a battery.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, if you're using that logic, what about Shizune? Because it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. But you could argue that Shizune was training more as a medic and Sakura was training more as a combat medic, if you want to split hairs.
I also never really thought that she was actually training. She was just traveling with her, and I guess she picked up some stuff along the way, but it was never intentional training.
Yeah, I mean, Tsunade never really intended for Shizune to actually get in any real fights, because then she might lose her, like she lost everyone else, which was her driving character trait during that beginning bit, because that was so well thought out when she was being the fucking leader of a goddamn military organization. Been over this. But,
yeah, we've been over this a few times.
The thing is, wasn't the point of the series at the very beginning that you could overcome anything with hard work and stuff?
Yes.
And then Naruto became this ridiculous pedigree super ninja because he was the last of the Uzumaki and the son of the fourth Hokage, and he had this extra power-up with Kurama, and then Sasuke was the last of the Uchiha, and he is the reincarnation of this bullshit, ridiculously powerful dude, as is Naruto, and they have all this pedigree stuff. And now Sakura, who was the daughter of civilians as far as I'm aware, or possibly just very, very low-ranking ninja, she has had all of the same training that they've had, but cannot keep up in the slightest.
If it was an actual threat, she'd be able to keep just fine, but it's just solidified bullshit. Matter was insane, but Kaguya is just utterly broken.
Okay, but say if she were to fight either one of Naruto or Sasuke right now, what would happen? She would be a smear on a wall.
She might last a while.
Really? What's she going to do to defend against anything they've got at this point?
Wasn't she trained specifically to dodge things, though? So I think she'd hold out for a while, but she'd definitely lose the fight.
You mean against the Rasengan that can now apparently flatten the mountain and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that hard work stuff was bullshit, and just be the son of someone super awesome. And I mean specifically be the son of someone super awesome. If you're the daughter of someone super awesome, you're going to do okay, I guess, maybe. That's pretty much as you can hope for. Is how it apparently works in this world. Never mind. Shonen. That's how it works.
Hmm.
You guys are bringing me down with this conversation.
Yeah, I tend to do that. And I get it's a demographic thing. This stuff reaches a lot more boys than it does girls. And I can get that they want the male characters to be strong because of that. Because it would appeal more to the males than it would to the females. But it also teaches boys that girls are inherently weak. And aside from that not being fair, it's also entirely not true. So, that bothers me as well.
Yeah, it's not a great lesson to learn.
Well, you could take solace in the fact that the biggest, big bad boss is a woman. I mean...
Granted.
Of course, then you can get on the whole women are the ultimate evil thing.
Naturally. Also, audience, I apologize if I constantly bring stuff like this up, and I apologize if it sounds like I'm doing the social justice warrior thing. But, sorry, this is just how this stuff makes me react. This is what I think of these things when they come up. So, I'm not pushing an agenda or anything like that, like people on the internet tend to think whenever anyone brings up a difficult issue, but this genuinely bothers me, so that's why I bring it up.
For good reason, yeah. It's a pretty bad issue.
Okay, back to the chapter. So, Ken, you read the whole Sage bullshit where he showed up out of nowhere and was guiding and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why he decided to do that, like, right at the last minute?
No.
I still have no idea how he appeared. I don't understand. Where did he come from?
Near-death experience inside Naruto's head, seal, something.
Okay, so why is he now appearing to the Kage?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he manifested to all of them out in the real world. They're not in the Genjutsu, so it's not a part of anything that's going on in the Genjutsu. This is outside the actual world where this is happening.
I hate this series.
In the Guchu Death Genjutsu, you can actually argue it makes sense, but in the real world, there's no logic behind that. It doesn't make any sense.
See, this is why you can tell that this was an ass pull.
Okay, here's the thing that I just saw.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
If the writer had brought this up earlier, say, if we ignore the whole appearing before the Kage thing, if, for example, Hagoromo had showed up to Naruto and Sasuke real early on in the series, like really early, before even the time skip, and just showed up as maybe a minor guiding figure, then this would be a hell of a lot better and it'd be pulled off way better with real foreshadowing. This character has appeared before, we don't know who he is, but we can be revealed as to who he is. I think that would work a lot better.
That would require thought and foreshadowing and long-term planning and a lot of things that they seem to lack with this series.
All that stuff. And you know what I want to see now? I want to see someone write a fic that has this guy show up real early in the series, just like I said. I want someone to do that and try and pull it off. You could have him sort of have a little bit of an antagonistic thing with Kurama, because Kurama's all bitter now and stuff. That could be interesting. You could have it play into the whole Naruto-Sasuke rivalry thing. You could have it play into Sasuke's departure from the village thing. All of this stuff is interesting plot points that it could have been used in. So I want to see someone actually do this and pull it off.
And you still, it still could have worked if they had done it early in the series and done that, because if they hadn't dropped his name until the very back half of the second part, that still would have been just fine. You didn't need to know who he was until that point.
Yeah.
Then it would have been kind of cool to figure out that's who it was or something other. Start tying stuff together.
But nope. We get it right at the last minute. And he is the Deus Ex Deus.
Hold on, somebody's doing donuts outside my house. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. So this guy just shows up and saves the day.
What happened was they were all talking, they found, the bottom half of Madara's body. So they were going to, Ito Tensei or something, and second, the first Hokage touched him. The spirit, the ghostly spirit of the Sage of Six Paths came out of his body.
The ghost of Ninja Past.
Apparently.
Yeah. Who's he talking about here? So you really are a kind person, Ashura's predecessor.
Madara. I mean, Hashirama.
Oh, okay.
Okay, back.
Yeah, oh, okay, so I was right. It is, Naruto is a carbon copy of Ashura and, what's her name's son? Oh, actually, that's Hagoromo. Hashirama and Kakashi and the other ones that I forget. Can't remember who they were. Yeah, that's great that we have confirmation of that.
Yeah, great.
Stop sighing. It's unbecoming of a gentleman. We're all fops and dandies here.
Can I be wait, no, neither of those is attractive.
Dandy, you could probably get away with that.
I'm dandy.
Yeah. Can I be dapper? I would like a top hat.
I don't think you could pull off dapper.
Damn. All right. Oh,
I could pull dapper.
The sound was both of our mowers broke, so we had to borrow a weird tractor thing from the neighbor down the street who lives 2 miles away, and it's very squealy.
Okay.
I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not.
I know you're not. That's why it's great. Oh, Iowa.
I'm gonna have fun trying to name this episode, you know. We haven't come up with anything yet. Oh well.
I'm sure something will come to you.
Something will come to me. It always does. I guess we're done with Naruto. Does anyone want to talk about the whole, I'm going to be sacrificing myself when half my face appears to be falling off?
No, I'll save that for next week.
Wait, what?
Obito's
I mean,
gonna...
I know what you mean. I was wondering what Kenshi meant. If we pushed it back a week, then we'd be even farther behind. Wait, no, we're not. Yeah.
No, it'd be because it's when he's actually going to die rather than, I'm going...
okay. Yeah, okay, I get you now. We might have to push it back 2 weeks, actually, considering how long something's taken this series.
I miss old cocky Obito. I don't like Eeyore Obito.
Every universe has to have one, I mean...
Yeah. Oh well. So, on to real topics. So, the first of our real topics this week, we have several real topics this week because we only have 3 people, so we figure we can get through a few of these. So, the first one, writing a prophecy. Most people suck at it. Like, really, really suck at it.
Maybe that's why I hate the prophecy thing so much.
No, the prophecy thing is bad because it's a bad plot device. But it doesn't help when bad writers try and do a bad plot device.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can be good. You just need to be really good at writing it or use it wisely. But most people don't. They just use it the easy, stupid way.
So, 2 prophecies come to mind specifically when we're talking about prophecies in fiction. And those are going to be the obvious ones, and since they're the ones that everyone's going to know, we'll go with it. The Naruto one. Since we just did Naruto.
Uh-huh.
Naruto is the child of prophecy who will bring the ninja world to an era of peace or be its destroyer or something like that.
Peace or destruction, yes.
Yeah, that's...
It's not even saying Naruto. It just says prophecy's child.
It just says the child of prophecy, yeah. Here's why that's a bad prophecy. That's basically saying eventually the ninja era will end. Duh.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the thing. Things end eventually. So it could be at any point, any one person, and the only reason it was Naruto, aside from bullshit, plot, reincarnation, bullshit, is because everyone kept saying that he was him.
And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and yeah, it loses all real value.
Yep.
Because then it can apply to literally anyone, as long as enough people believe.
Yeah, it could have been Minato at one point.
Could have, yeah.
Could have been Chuck D from down the street.
Yeah. So that's how that fails. And then, obviously, we have the Harry Potter one. And I can't remember it word for word, so I'm going to look it up.
As the 7th month dies, the one who defied the Dark Lord, something. You know, it's hilarious about the Naruto one, though. It's like, once there was a ninja with limitless potential, but nobody cared about him, so he faded to obscurity. And that's the problem.
Okay. Now, here is the prophecy in its entirety. I'm going to read it right now, and I can't be bothered to do a dramatic reading. So, the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal, but he will have power the Dark Lord knows not, and either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. And then it repeats itself.
As all good prophecies should, you know, it's open, close.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel that way anyway.
Yeah, it's a very... especially if you call it a classic style prophecy, where it has a very specific form to it, I guess. But here's the problem with this one. It is long. Well, that's a problem with this one, at least. It is long, it has a lot of moving parts to it, and because of that, it is far, far too open to interpretation. There are so many ways that this could make sense, and it has been explored in so many different ways by so many different fanfiction writers in exploiting all of the hundreds and hundreds of loopholes.
Sorry.
So,
you're not exaggerating with that either. There's a lot, like just the 7th month thing. I mean, that depends on what calendar you're using. It's
yeah, if you're using, like, say, a Roman calendar, which, this is a prophecy, and prophets and oracles were from, like, ancient Greece or whatever, so they would be using the Greek calendar, which did not have July or August, which were added by the Romans for Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar, specifically. So the 7th month, in that case, would be September. In fact, it has 7 in the name. Sept-ember.
I think Hermione is actually born in September.
She is. The latter half of September, so as the 7th month dies. Go figure. I have no doubts that that is actually the basis for a fic. I'm sure someone has written that. If they haven't, they probably will after this has been released. But
it does seem vaguely familiar, yeah.
Yeah, so even that one little thing, that's one line in this, like, 7 or 8 line prophecy. And there are dozens
You would be
of different
surprised
ways
how
of
many
interpreting
people you can have that prophecy apply to.
Yeah, so...
Also, it might not even matter at all, because it seems to it's fulfilled already on the Halloween night at the very start of the series. That could very well be what the prophecy was talking about. Just that one event, and then, yeah.
Pretty much. And that's that over, because the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. What was the date of birth of Lily Potter, by the way?
The what?
The date of birth of Lily Potter, I feel like that might be significant.
I do not know.
Considering, in that instance, it was in fact Lily Potter that defeated the Dark Lord. Go figure. So, that one fails as well, because it's long and open and very, very open to exploitation. Granted, I feel that was, at least in a tiny part of the point.
It was, yeah.
Because Dumbledore pretty much turns that into a self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
The people believing it gave it power, so yeah.
Pretty much. So, yeah. Prophecies are tricky things to do well. And here are some, let's not call them rules, but maybe a couple of guidelines. The thing with prophecy is it needs to be vague, by definition. Now, we've just pretty much ripped into two of these because they were too open. But vague doesn't necessarily mean open. It just means it can't be specific on the details, but one very specific thing is going to happen. That's the point of a prophecy. This thing is going to happen. So saying one thing will happen or this other thing will happen is not a very good prophecy.
Not really. Just like saying you have a 50% chance
anything.
of raining today.
It's not prophesizing anything. It's just saying something will happen or something won't happen. So it's right either way. That means nothing. There was no point to this. But, like I said, it needs to be vague, but it needs to actually point to a very specific event. So, all of these details in the Harry Potter prophecy, it gives a lot of details, but it isn't specific enough.
Yeah,
Go
there is
figure.
no one detail that is concrete enough to really apply that.
Hello?
Concretely.
Yeah, you cut out for a second there.
Oh, sorry. Don't know what happened.
Can you repeat that over so I know what it was?
It's not. One of those details need to be more concrete. It doesn't for sure apply to one person or event.
Yeah. So, that's important. That's the most important thing for writing a prophecy. It has to lead somewhere specific. Otherwise, it's just the mad ramblings of a mad person.
And how else will you know it's actually starting?
Yeah. The entire point of a prophecy, at least in fiction, is that it tells you what events are going to happen before they happen. Whether that is useful information is neither here nor there. It's telling you what's going to happen. So, So I suppose you could take it one of two routes. You could take it this is going to happen, and the characters either try and stop it or change it or try and manipulate it to suit their own ends. And you could then go the fatalistic route of it happens anyway, exactly how they said it was going to happen, and all the characters' efforts were for nothing. Or you could go the free will route and have them change it or at least manipulate it to suit their ends.
My personal favorite.
And then you have... What was that? Where was I going with this? I've forgotten. I woke up like an hour ago. Sue me.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
The obsession to drive it to its actual point.
Yeah.
Someone in power needs to pick up the prophecy and decide that it's true. It's going to happen, and it is a very specific thing in their mind.
And I'm going to be the one.
You could have either the prophecy drive the plot, or you could have the characters finding out about the prophecy driving the plot. That's the two ways you could do it. And the Harry Potter method feels like it's hedging its bets and not sure which way to go with it.
It does seem kind of to bounce back and forth.
Yeah, because you get a lot of hints that Dumbledore is kind of forcing this along, but in the end, everything falls into place so that the prophecy makes sense, in a manner of speaking. So, it's like it doesn't know which direction it wants it to go in. And that's unfortunate. If they had picked one side, it might have come out better for it, but, hindsight's 20/20, so don't think that we're just shitting on this for the sake of saying, oh, we could do better. I don't think we could really do better, but, it's good to pick out all the flaws in something so that maybe someone can do better in future.
Yeah. Also, it's important to note that Dumbledore was wrong. It may have just been bullshit he told Harry, but he said it was love. It was actually power he knows not was ignorance. He didn't know the true allegiance of the Elder Wand or whatever, so that killed him.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what part of anything that Harry did was based on love, so...
Love can be used in a very general sense. Just like it's caring about your fellow man could technically be love, but...
Yeah.
Or magical, in this sense. Your fellow magical.
Yeah, but that's a bit wishy-washy because Harry never really did that either.
Nope.
They kind of screwed him over at every turn, so...
They gave him zero reason to, so yeah.
But that's a bit off topic. That's not really anything to do with the prophecy. That's just the characters being dumb and the plot being dumb.
Harry Potter grade?
So, yeah, I'll link to the prophecy. So if anyone wants to call me out on some of the stuff that I said being wrong, go for it. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, sure. Sounds interesting. So yeah, what I meant to say when I mentioned Dumbledore was you can have somebody driving along a prophecy but be completely wrong and right at the same time. They could be wrong about it, but their methods they're using are so broad that they get it right anyway.
Anything to say, Ken? Anything to add?
I don't like the idea of prophecies driving plot because I believe in free will and that people can change, that stuff's going to happen, stuff that can happen.
Most people do. I mean, that's why they're so popular and defying fate like that.
Yeah, it's...
Which is kind of a reason why I'm not into the whole child of prophecy thing in Naruto, because wasn't a plot point at some point? Yeah, fate doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of ascribe to the theory, it's not really a theory, it's reality, that fate is kind of a thing, but it's so completely abstract and immeasurable that it's not even worth thinking about. Like, for example, if you knew everything about everything down to a single molecule, a single atom, single subatom of everything that exists, and understand everyone's thought process, then you would be able to predict anything that will happen in the future. Anything at all. But no one can do that. So, it doesn't matter in the slightest. Things are going to happen. They are directed by people's actions, but people's actions are directed by other things, and other things, and other things, and you get the idea. Fate's a thing, but it's kind of also driven by free will. That's kind of the way I see it working. I'm getting so far off topic, and this is delving into theology and philosophy that is so far above my pay grade, which is nothing. But
it happens, though. I mean, it is related, and we were kind of out of stuff for prophecies anyway.
I guess. Yeah. It's a difficult thing to get your head around sometimes. Anyway, so, moving on to the next topic. So, naming things. This is something that a lot of people say they suck at.
Oh, yeah. It's hard. I'm terrible at it.
I'm going to do something for a lot of people that is going to be genuinely helpful. I'm going to put a link into the link dump. And it is going to be a name database. And you know what this name database has? Names. First names.
Wow, really?
Last names.
I never would have guessed. I mean...
all names. All different kinds of names from different nationalities, from different cultures, even from some ancient historical cultures. And you know what you can do with that name database?
What can we do with that name database?
You can name your characters with it. So, say you have a Japanese character. You go to the name database, you pick out Japanese for the culture you want it to be from. You know what it'll do? It'll give you a first name and a surname, and you have a name for your character. And you don't have to name your character something incredibly, incredibly dumb like Ghost Ketchum.
Wow.
Yes,
What?
I've seen that before, by the way.
Ghost
Ketchum is the name of a character in a Pokemon fic I saw once.
Was he Ash renamed, or like...
I believe it was Ash's brother or something.
Oh boy.
Ghost Ketchum.
Yup.
Did he use ghost-type Pokemon?
I have no idea. I wasn't going to read a fic with a guy named Ghost Ketchum. Are you fucking kidding me? And that's why you should use the fucking name database. People aren't going to take your shit seriously if you use a dumb name like that. So, there you go. That's how you name a character.
He's Ghost Ketchum, but he uses psychics.
Nobody expects that. Oh, wow.
He uses
I've
ghosts
been hanging on
and dark.
to this,
He uses psychics and darks.
I'm not going to link that guy's fic. I could probably find it really easily, but I don't want to be mean. But yeah. Don't do that. Yeah, so that's a good way to name characters. Just find a name database that has the culture of names that you wanted to come from, and just use that. If you want to be really clever, or rather a little bit pretentious, then you can try and be a bit more ambitious with it, and try and give your character a name that fits them.
I
So,
have to do that. That's the easiest way to do it for me.
yeah, sometimes that's an easier way to do it. Japanese names, surprisingly, are quite easy to do that for. For example, you find a word in the Japanese language that is a word you want to describe your character, and a lot of the time, that can be used as their name, more or less. English people, 99.999% of the time, won't know the difference. And a lot of the time, it is in fact a Japanese name anyway, because they don't have that many syllables. So, you could do that too. English, it's a little bit more difficult. You might end up having to look up a name database and look up meanings for names and search through that instead. But you can totally do that anyway. So that's another method you can use if you are so inclined. It's not necessary, but it can be a nice, extra bonus for people that want to look into it that deeply. Which is going to be no one, because you're writing fan fiction most of the time. But
yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, usually most people just include the meaning of the names for you, in, like the author's notes. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that. It's kind of a cool little fun fact.
I do. Like, when I named that con man, I named him Jitsu Shin, which is basically truthy truth, I think. It's two different words for truth.
Something like that, yeah.
So, if you called him Jitsu Shin, then it would be Truthy Truth, the Truly Truthful, or something like that. So they gave him the moniker Fu, which, if you add it to Jitsu Shin, means untrustworthy or unfaithful. I was so proud when I came up with that, but yeah.
You should be. It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, playing with names like that can be fun sometimes, so I encourage people to give it a shot and see if they can come up with something cool.
It can also be hellishly frustrating, by the way. Don't instantly expect that great of a success.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
I really should have done more with that character. That name was too good. Never mind. He's a fucking nobody.
Yeah, not really. No.
Name wasted. Never mind. So, naming things obviously doesn't just come down to naming characters. You have to name your story. You have to name places. And you have to name organizations. Such things. Any tips for that? Because I don't really have anything. I just fucking come up with names.
That post I linked, it's like a master post of all useful things in writing. And the last ones are a Greek mythology database, the culture of ancient Rome, list of legendary creatures, and fantasy name generator. So I think the name generator is for people, but I suppose you could probably use it for nations, maybe.
Okay, so that's... let's call that writing resource. In the link dump. There we go. So yeah, that'll help, I imagine. Any other tips and pointers for people naming things?
Just don't go crazy overboard with it. I mean, Casey was kind of getting into it a little earlier where he got super excited about the name and he's going to do more with the character, and it's all right. It's just a name. Calm down.
Yeah. I could do something with that character.
Maybe.
No, who am I kidding? No, I have
now?
nothing I could do with that character anymore. He was a fucking con man, for Christ's sake. He was fucking nothing. And he was a dumbass as well.
Oh.
I showed him. Oh well. But yeah, if you want to check out that resource, that is probably going to help you a little bit more in fleshing out your world a little bit with names of places and organizations and things if you feel like it. Mythology tends to be a good resource when you're naming things. Just try and make it fit.
Yeah, there's such a thing as being too cute with naming stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you were writing an organization that has access to a miracle cure or something like that, don't call it something to do with phoenixes. Don't use the word Lazarus ever.
Ever.
That has been done so many times. Try and be a little bit original. You don't have to be too original. It's fan fiction. It's not going to be, great masterwork or anything. But try a little bit, please. That's all I want is people to try and think things through and think a little bit and see, okay, my readers are going to think this is dumb, so maybe I shouldn't do this, and maybe I should put a little bit more time and effort into it. That'd be probably for the best. Please?
Asking
Sometimes.
around to, if you have any friends anyway, pass the idea around and just gauge the reactions. If they say it's stupid, it's probably stupid. It's also, if it only took you 3 minutes to find, you just look a little harder. Maybe you find a better name if you search for, 5 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, sometimes you can land the jackpot really soon, and that's great, but, a few minutes of searching isn't going to kill you.
Yeah. Plus, it can be fun. I had fun with it when I was doing that. Researching stuff. It's cool.
Yeah,
Plus, you never know. You might come across something that will help you later in the story and be useful information, something that you could
exploit.
Really.
Very true, I suppose. You don't keep an open mind about stuff. You find other stuff. It's useful.
Anything else you want to say about naming things?
I think we covered everything. Seems like, anyway.
Okay, next topic is going to be something.
One more thing. It seems like common sense, but do not use Western names in an Eastern setting. It's like exclusively Eastern setting, like Naruto. Do not have Dave in Naruto.
Oh.
Common sense,
yeah.
Dave.
Addendum to that point. Don't use people's usernames as names in fiction.
Unless it's, like Sword Art Online or some other game type thing.
Yeah, that makes some sense. I'm talking... In fact, specifically, I'm calling out the guy that wrote Naruto a cliché parody. Yes, it's a cliché parody, I get it. But still... Xenogaiva. No!
That's Naruto's brat, by the way.
Yeah, Naruto's brat, thank you. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're going to use a character, use his fucking name, not this fucking bullshit alias thing that you came up with because it's the guy that created the character. No! Also, that character acknowledging something that's outside of the universe, like making a reference to Harry Potter. No! Don't do that either. I'm just basically nitpicking Naruto's brat's fix at this moment. But that really bothered me, that whole thing that he added with that character.
Wasn't that entire chapter non-canon? I mean, it's been a while since I read that one because I'm letting it build up, but...
No, it's canon.
Lovely.
Because that character taught the Team 7 prank techniques, and then they used them in the invasion.
Ah.
That was the thing. Anyway.
Asylum was
good.
But
yes. Sorry?
Asylum was good. His HP fanfiction. Letters from the Asylum. I'm completely biased.
Oh, yeah.
I read it, but,
He is actually a good writer. I'm just nitpicking because that entire section just really bothered the crap out of me because the rest of it was so good.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Oh, well. Right. So, next topic. We're at an hour and a half already. I'm surprised that we're, taking so much time for these. But, we'll see how we go. We might do one or two more. We might not go through all these. So, matching a character's voice. I just want to say at the top of this, never, no matter who the character is, no matter what their personality is, whether they are the most dandyish fop anyone has ever seen, never, ever have your character say curiouser and curiouser.
All right.
Now, there are two reasons for this. One, no one ever says curiouser and curiouser. I feel like that's probably the most important point. But second, that was specifically called out as a phrase used in fanfiction by Strongbad in one of the Strongbad emails, and I cannot stop thinking about that anytime I see someone use it in a fic.
What's the strong bad emails? Or is that too much to get into right now?
What's Strongbad? Homestar Runner?
I don't even know what that is.
God. Oh my god! Ken,
What?
please tell me you know what Homestar Runner is.
No.
Please?
I bet he knows of it, but he's probably never read it.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, I feel old.
It's not old, I just never cared to look into it.
Okay, yeah, it's too much to get into. Basically, it was an episode where he was mocking someone writing fanfiction about him. And he was like, curiouser and curiouser. And he was like in an aside, yeah, because that is something I would totally say.
Okay, I get your point now, yeah.
No one talks like that, ever. No one. In like, I think it's possibly an Alice in Wonderland quote or something.
It is.
But
yeah,
even in like the 1800s or something, no one talked like that. In the 1910s, no one talked like that. Nobody.
I think it was the caterpillar that regularly gets high that said that. So, I mean, I should probably say something about the
I was actually right. Go
integrity
figure.
of the line.
I mean, yes, it's kind of a cool line, a little bit. But the amount of times that it's ever actually going to be worthwhile to use it and it's going to make sense, it is totally an Alice in Wonderland quote, by the way. I just looked it up. No, it's not even worth using. And I feel like because of the strong bad emails thing, you should never use it anyway. So, yeah, that really bothers me.
I can tell, yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, matching a character's voice. So, if a character is dumb, they should sound dumb. They should read dumb. So
I really wish I had more a link or something on hand, but somebody wrote Ron, and his speech patterns were so infuriatingly lazy. It was perfectly spot on, but I do not have that on hand. He just dropped whole syllables and
yeah. It's like if a character is like Naruto or Ron and they aren't particularly well educated, they aren't well spoken at all. They will use a lot of contractions. They will use quite a bit of slang. So don't have them talking like they're from Elizabethan England. That doesn't mesh. It's not the character. That's not how they sound. So have your characters sound like the characters. I mean, I know sometimes you want your favorite characters to be cooler, but then you're not writing the character anymore, are you?
Not really, no.
Okay, I'm still looking up this quote to try and find...
Stop it.
I think that's one of those ones you're probably not going to find the origin of it.
It's Alice. Alice said it.
I don't know.
It was in Chapter 2 of The Pool of
Is
Tears.
that actually the origin, or is that a further reference to something else?
No, that's the origin.
Oh, cool.
Or at least
all right, then.
That's where it was. Anyway, that was a nice detour, I guess. Yeah, so that's what bothers me most, at least, about writing. When I see characters that don't have very good speech patterns, they aren't well spoken, but the writer writes them as though they are. There's something to be said for including dialect in writing. It's not as common a practice anymore. In modern writing techniques, you find a lot of the time a writer will just use, perfect grammar for the most part. They might use contractions every now and again, but that's about it. And I feel like that's, we're losing out on something from not including that.
A lot of people seem to feel nowadays that you can only really spice up dialogue by giving somebody an accent, but that's not the case. There's a lot of possibilities there that people seem to just pass by. Myself included. I mean, I have a hard time with dialogue just as is, but keeping people to specific speech patterns is very difficult.
Yeah. God. Oh, I remember when I gave the crows fucking Scandinavian accents. That was hell.
Yeah.
Oh. Trying to figure out where all the J's go and stuff. Jesus.
You pulled it off, though, so congrats.
Okay, I'm not Scandinavian, so I have no idea whether that was accurate, but I gave it a go.
It sounds realistic enough to somebody who's not Scandinavian, so mission accomplished.
Yeah, so it's interesting to play around with stuff like that sometimes, so it's worth trying to do, especially if you're using a character that actually sounds very specific and has a very specific voice to them. Then you want to try and match that, otherwise your fic is instantly going to lose out on something. It's going to be missing something. And the reader is probably going to notice.
On the very extreme side of that scale, shout out to Hagrid. Fuck you.
Oh, Hagrid. I know how to write Hagrid because that's a West Country accent. So I am very specifically qualified to try and write that because I'm English and I know what that accent sounds like, but I can imagine what hell that accent is for Americans. What'd you say? Sorry?
Did you just say country without an O? Is that how you pronounce it?
Without an O and without a T.
Okay.
So it's West Country.
Okay. That's how you said it, yeah. And yes, to an American that just sounds butchered. The poor English language. Jesus.
Hello there. You alright?
Shut up.
Yeah, sorry. So, also, you can't talk about poor English with fucking can't. Fuck off. Also, colour has a U in it.
No, it doesn't. Now that it's favorite.
I actually spell a lot of those words with U's in them now because I beta read for so many British people. I've been converted. Oh, God.
Yes! Yes!
Damn it.
Although, to be fair, the favorite was spelled with a U on my computer on the favorites list, so I always spelled it like that.
Still. Yes!
Yeah, great.
Spreading again.
This is America. We're lazy. We drop letters we don't need, okay?
Anyway, anyone else want to say anything for matching a character's voice?
If you're going to make a gag out of it, don't use it for every character. Like a big guy with a tiny voice or something like that, or a squeaky voice or whatever.
It's hard to pull off in written fiction.
I was about to mention that. It doesn't work as well as a lot of people seem to think it does in a written form. It just doesn't.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. I mean, a lot of people are used to visual media nowadays, so you get a lot of people trying to pull off visual gags with, the written word, and it doesn't have the same impact.
Or just looks stupid.
Yeah. So that's not a good idea. You need to... Surprisingly enough, clever wordplay is a good way to be funny with, words. Go
Shocking,
figure.
surprising. I know. It's just a shock to many people, but it's the truth.
Yeah, so a lot of the humor you're going to find comes from either dialogue or sometimes offbeat narration.
Narration is a good one for first person, but it's more difficult to pull off in third person. Because the narrator is usually impartial. So if you try to give them character, it doesn't always come across great.
Yeah. It can be done, but it's not an easy thing to do, trying to give the narrator some sort of character. I mean, the narrator is impartial, yes, but he is also, you could say, viewing events as well as the reader is. So the reader sees events through him, but he is seeing events through seeing the events. So if he sees something or hears something, then he can relay it to the audience, but he maybe gets confused along the way. I have done this gag before, so I know what I'm talking about. And it can sort of kind of work. I'm not entirely sure how well it works, but it can be done, and it can seem passable.
Yeah. It's also, you can also kind of cheat and establish early on the narrator is actually a person, like in the future or something. Somebody telling a story.
Yeah.
But that usually involves having the kind of thing where this takes place in the future, like a teacher telling a class history lesson or something.
It's relaying the story and stuff, and usually that involves the story being spoiled from the outset, which is not a good storytelling device.
Nope. I have mentioned several times that I drop stories for that, so
Yep.
no questions asked.
Why would I read a story when I already know the end? You hear about people reading the last page of a book first, and I don't think anyone actually does that.
Not habitually, but maybe once or twice just to see what effect it has. I don't know.
I have never met anyone that actually does that. So, yeah. Ken, you have written a lot of characters. Anything to say for writing a character's voice?
If you don't have source material to go off of, as in you don't already have an idea what they should sound like from, I don't know, a show or something, or how their accent's written in a manga, which usually sometimes gives you an idea of how to write someone's accent sometimes. Way to interpret it is, I don't know, it's hard to, like, for example, the only, like, one of the people's accents that I've written that I had to, like, basically, like, go off of scratch, basically, for is the character Corinne from Street Fighter. I had to write for her.
Yeah, the partial one, yeah.
Yeah, the rich one. So, basically what I did for her was I had to find large synonyms for words. Words that you were not going to use if you don't have to. Words you have no reason to use.
Because she is a well-educated character, so she would be articulate and eloquent.
Drop contractions. Drop contractions whenever possible for that character. Stuff like that. You have to, if there's no source to it, you have to kind of break down what that character's personality is and how you would see that person talking.
Yeah, brings to mind another point. When you're actually writing a character's voice and trying to convey that voice and that manner of speaking, then that means you can also change that manner of speaking depending on the character's mood as well. So, for example, the example Ken gave, a very well-spoken character that is very reserved and doesn't use many contractions and uses a lot of big words, if they were to get, say, angry or something like that, they might switch to a less eloquent and well-spoken manner of speaking.
I think I mentioned this before, but there was a Street Thug Harry's story where
Yeah,
very
and
raised in the streets, and he
he
became
pretended
very
to be well
posh.
spoken, and then
Yeah,
every time he would get angry or frustrated, he would start speaking as he would on the streets.
Cockney, very slang, very, very slang. It
Yeah,
was amusing and very well written. I really need to find that again for reference.
yeah. Hmm. Some of these may be a little bit advanced techniques, maybe a little bit, not
Yeah.
amazingly so, but it's something to think about trying.
Yeah, no problem with just trying, you know.
Hmm. Give it a shot, try practice with it. It's not going to harm your writing, I can say that much. It's going to help a lot, giving you a little bit more, your story a bit more gravitas, even a little bit more feeling, because your characters feel more alive.
Yeah, I can see that.
If they have a certain way of speaking, then they have a certain specific nature to them that is given to them through that manner of speaking.
A uniqueness, yeah.
Yeah. And if everyone sounds like they grew up in the 1800s in high society, then your fic is going to look terrible. Because everyone is going to sound the same, both in their dialect and in how they actually talk and what they do. It's going to feel like every character is the same character. It's an unfortunate side effect, but that's how it works.
Yeah, you got to go at it. If you're going to have a lot of characters, you need to be aware of your limitations when it comes to writing dialogue. Or, at the very least, accept that you're going to need to really go all out in dialogue to make them either stand out or just not have people care because they just like the character interaction.
Hmm.
That might be a separate topic. I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, we're an hour and 47, so we spent a lot more time on this than I thought we would. So I guess we're gonna move on to recommendations and then wrap up. So, recommendations.
I recommend that the
Who
world.
goes first?
I'll go first. I recommend the world learn an instrument because music is peaceful. And
I agree with that, except for the peaceful thing,
well,
because I play drums.
It's not peaceful. I had a friend who
drums
played drums.
Drums doesn't rid you of some of your aggressions.
It does, actually, so yeah, I'll give you that. It's a fair point.
Yes, more people will
Spend
play.
all your time hitting things. It's gonna... Oh, I get
Yeah.
it. I get the fighting thing.
Yeah.
I get it, because it's hitting things. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Me and Ken, we see eye to eye.
No, actually, you probably
Not
see like
really.
eye to chin. I think he's a lot taller than you.
5'10".
6'2".
Damn it.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
Damn it, I need to find out how tall Zero is so I know I'm not the shortest one on the podcast.
Tallest.
In fact, I'm going to email Zero and ask how tall he is.
He's
I wanna
online
know
right
now.
now. Just send him a Skype message. I actually got a...
Yeah, he kind of trolled us.
he's online, but it's just his phone. He's at work, so... I mean, he can take texts real quick. I think he's at work. I don't actually know where he is, but he's not at his microphone. Oh, all right then. Cool.
I think that's what he said last week.
Yeah, he said he was going away. He said it was 4th of July, though, so he might be back, I don't know. And if he's back, he wouldn't be able to record
Today
on
is
Saturday.
one of the several International Hangover Days, so, I mean, I'm not really surprised. Then again, it's Zero we're talking about.
Does this count as an International Hangover Day?
Not really. No one really cares about 4th of July anywhere else in the world.
It seems there's small pockets around the planet that are really hype about it, according
Where?
to Tumblr at least. Let's see, Canada, Italy. I think there was one from Spain.
I can see Canada caring a little bit.
Probably Spain a little bit too.
Why Spain?
Because they were a rival in the area when the whole revolution happened. So that would be... The revolution would be you know, a poke in the eye to the British and stuff.
And they're all for that.
Still?
Oh.
Probably not still, but like you said, it's very isolated pockets and stuff. So,
All right, I'll take your word for it.
I don't know, I'm guessing here. I'm also still waiting for Zero to get back to me. I want to know.
Yeah, okay. Moving along, speaking of messaging Zero, I messaged him about a manga that he read beforehand while we were recording earlier, and he seconds this one, so cool. The manga is The Gamer. That's it, just The Gamer. It's a Korean manga. It's 44 chapters long. It is, I'm trying to think of okay, think of like Bloodlines in Naruto, where some people are just born with them, some people kind of randomly get them. But some people just get them from the planet in this series, like special abilities. And it depends on what they do in life. Like, somebody who nearly drowned would get water powers. And so the main character of this series played so many video games, he turned into a video game protagonist. Like, he can learn abilities, he can level those abilities up by using them.
This seems like a familiar concept.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, but so as you might already know from that description, he is a broken character. He finds out how to become powerful very quickly, and I mean, he never feels overpowered in regards to the actual villains. He can grind monsters and stuff in these reality bubbles that kind of appear, and he's very good at that. But once it comes to actual fights, he's I don't know, just any kind of gamer that runs across a boss. You're just like, how the hell do I fight this thing? And so he, I don't want to say runs all the time, but he depends heavily on his teammates, who are also have abilities, but none of them are like inborn like his. So it's a good read. It's a decent length. The names, though, the names are very Korean. You could ask me right now. I read this yesterday. I don't know the main character's name because it's Korean, and it's like 4 words long.
Yeah, I read one. I read a Korean manga before, and I don't remember any characters' names from that manga at all.
Yeah. I suppose, actually, now that we're on the topic of the Korean manga, though, I can recommend Witch Hunter, another Korean one that is very good, and they actually limit the Korean names to a very specific country that some of the characters are from. So, okay, I can't remember the main character's name, but it is a regular name. It is a normal name, I guess, that you would actually use in regular conversation instead of rattling it off, I guess. No offense to Korean people.
Okay.
Witch Hunter is a big thing, though. You'd probably just need to look that one up. Because I haven't read it recently enough to tell.
Okay. Anything else?
Tasha Godspell, that's his name. Main character.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Also, I love that I get to take credit for anyone that does the video game character plot, even though I totally ripped that plot off someone else.
Yeah, you did. And he ripped it off somebody else, and they ripped it off somebody else. It's a never-ending cycle.
Actually, I think Chibi Reef might have been the first one that did it, maybe.
True.
I've seen no one do it earlier than him, so... That was like 2008, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Dude, Wayback Machine. And it catches on like 3 years later.
Very odd trend, that.
Anyway, alright, my recommendation is... It's a Sekirei fic. Or rather, a crossover between Bleach and Sekirei.
I think I've read this.
It's called A Guardian's Wish by Backwards Hazard.
I think I've read this.
Probably. So, the Fullbringer arc of Bleach. Tsukishima has a super special attack that actually kind of makes sense for the character, where it's basically a character assassination The person he uses on anyone that he ever knew will think the absolute worst things of him and will believe he has done the absolute worst, most horrible things ever. Like, absolute betrayal and everything like that. So
Not a good ability to be on the other end of. Yeah.
no, and Ichigo ends up on the other end of it.
Ugh.
So his family kick him out. Chad punches him the first time he sees him afterwards.
Ow. That must hurt. That guy's a mountain.
Probably, yeah. And so 10 years pass. Ichigo moves to Tokyo, or Shinto, Taito, whatever they call it.
Is he a part of the Doctors Without Borders thing, or is that a different fic?
It's probably a different fic.
All right.
This is one where he's basically just a wandering mercenary because he doesn't want to get attached to anyone in case the thing, flares up and decides, hey, this person hates you now, just randomly. I don't think it works like that, but it's understandable that he would fear that it does. So,
unless the guy explained how his ability works, as they do constantly in Bleach, but he wouldn't really know one way or the other, so.
I don't think he went into specifics like that, but I'm pretty sure the author did. It doesn't work like that, but Ichigo might believe it does. So, 10 years pass, he goes to Shinto Taito, and Sekirei stuff happens, and Ichigo is not passive, and this stuff keeps happening to me. He is not, I want all the pretty ladies because I am an asshole. He is more, these Sekirei things, whatever they are being manipulated and are being hurt by this whole Sekirei plan thing, so I want to protect them.
I see him very strongly disliking any form of manipulation at that point. Very, very strongly.
So that's pretty much the basis of the fic. He is trying to protect all of the Sekirei. All of them. So he runs across the one that's getting abused by her Ashikabi and kills that dude.
The ice user?
No. The hammer girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. The really unpleasant one. Yeah. So, straight up kills that dude. Was awesome.
Yeah, I can see why. I think he's a douche.
Yep.
Monster.
So, and he has the ability to basically re-wing Sekirei, so they don't end up going back to whatever company it was called, I forget.
MBI?
Yeah. Because that would mean they would go back to the people that are manipulating them and hurting them, as far as he is aware. As far as the audience is aware. Hell. So, he does that and keeps them safe and stuff and things.
Considering his background as a Shinigami, it kind of makes sense that he'd be able to bring them back from the dead. Finger quotes.
In a manner of speaking, it's still not entirely clear whether they're actually dead, at least as far as I've seen. Because I didn't actually pay any attention to Sekirei after I watched the anime.
Oh,
for obvious reasons.
It's heavily implied it's a coma they cannot wake up from without help.
Ah, okay. So, yeah. I like this idea. A lot of the good things I have to say about it is because it fixes a lot of the problems, like, that I was talking about. So, Mia gets called out on her weird anti-sex thing.
That was pretty weird, yeah.
And pretty much everyone backs Ichigo up again on it when he calls her on it. And Kusano is no longer 5 years old, but is still not being anything to do with the sexy stuff, because, that'd still be really fucking creepy. In fact, it might be even more creepy.
Yes, it would,
I can't
actually. I mean, at least if she's a child body, then she is very clearly off limits, hopefully. But if she's a child in a teenager's body, that's even worse. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
In the fic, is she a full-grown but not mentally, or?
Yeah, full-grown but not mentally.
Okay.
So, still absolutely off limits, and Ichigo treats it as such. It's a lot of the problems I have with it are fixed. Well, not fixed, but treated as they probably should be
Duct
for the most
tape?
part. Yeah, I guess.
What was that?
Duct taped, not
Oh,
fixed.
yeah.
You thought he said DuckTales, didn't you?
No, I
Something like
didn't hear what he said at all because it was so quiet and it was like on the tail end
Oh.
of what you said.
I did. I thought he said DuckTales. I don't know why.
Fix
I do
are
have a
great.
bird thing. Fix. A little bit, maybe.
I mean, it's his own tale. Just calling it a fix is kind of, I don't know, disrespectful, but whatever. Yeah, that aspect of it is nice.
Yeah, you can see the fix side of it on Sekirei, but the Bleach side of it is not a fix at all. In fact, it is a break fic, if anything.
Yeah, it's the impression I'm getting. Yeah.
And I did actually message the author about how the Bleach thing was going to actually come back into it, and he pretty much said, not very much, but a little bit, in an antagonist kind of sense. So I get the feeling that it's not actually going to go in the everything comes back together and everyone's happy again sense.
Yeah. No, I doubt it.
So I very much like this one. It's not something I'm going to rave about and everything, but it's a very good fic and definitely worth looking at if you want something to cleanse the palate after watching/reading Sekirei and being really disgusted by it, like I was, for example.
Do we know if that guy's ability wears off if he dies?
He died immediately after using it. That's why he used it.
Oh.
Because he was dying. So.
Okay, so yeah, that really should have worn off according to the rules, I think. But, yeah.
It should? Why is that?
Well, the thing that was powering the ability presumably comes from him. He needs to power it even subconsciously, but something like that. I mean, like people in Naruto, like using the transformation jutsu and then coming out of it when they get knocked unconscious, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because when Tsukishima used that stuff to like manipulate everyone's thoughts and stuff, he had to put more and more effort into it when they started actually thinking. So,
I suppose if he used it to that degree, they wouldn't even be open to the idea of thinking he didn't do anything wrong. So it works in a sense. He doesn't
exactly get a chance to try and convince them.
Yeah. Wait, what was
it's only that being dead thing that. Sorry, what'd you say?
I didn't hear what you said. Did he not try to convince them, or doesn't get a chance?
He doesn't really get a chance to, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, even with him not around to reinforce that ability, they wouldn't really be asking questions to begin with, so it can't even begin to start breaking down.
Yeah, only the fact that he's dead actually comes up as a plot point, a plot hole, rather. So, I admit that's a little bit of a plot hole, but still, I can accept it as the jumping off point for the fic.
Ah, okay.
You just accept that and move on, and we're good, pretty much.
I'm pretty good at ignoring those, honestly. I got a few friends that just cannot do that. I don't know why. It's just skip the first chapter if it's really that much of an issue.
Yeah, it's more down to the writer than anything else. I mean, if a writer is good enough and he engages you enough, then you can just sort of move past plot holes and just ignore them for the sake of enjoying the story. But if the writer's not up to task, then they become a little bit more noticeable.
Yeah.
If you're not getting drawn in, then you're just going to analyze it from the outside, as it were. And we're well over 2 hours. Okay, so that went on longer than it usually did. Recommendations thing. Never mind. Ken, you went already, yes?
Yep.
Yeah. Play an instrument?
Yep.
Yeah.
Learn music. Bring it to the world.
I would also like to give a third recommendation of Killing Floor. Just play it. It's fun. It's $5 right now until like the 16th. And that's it.
The thing I need to link. All right. So, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 42. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the blogspot page, the comments, or our own personal profiles on Fanfiction Night, or the YouTube channel through the comments if you'd like to get in. Then I've already done that bit. I did this so perfectly last week. Thank you once again for listening to the Fan Flux Podcast, episode 42. Bye now.
See you, people.